Welcome back to Games Revealed. I'm James and also the Brink, and hopefully I have the audio on. Yes, I do. Okay. Sometimes when I switch my computer around and all that, it doesn't work. But if I have not yet said so, I am James and also the Brink, and we are one community. And today we're going to go over a lot of stuff of what I've been doing the past few weeks and what's been going on in the news. And it's crazy. And no, this is not, well, okay. Politics, kind of get into it a little bit because of tariffs, but we're gonna have some fun. So let's welcome some peeps in. Cat Smith for you, welcome. Rachy, welcome. How are you guys doing? Now I expect this to probably be a lower count chat, meaning like there's not going to be as many of us here, partially because I've been gone for the past few weeks, and so speak up. Let's chat. Let's do all this stuff that we do every week with this stream. I have a lot. It's just a lot. Rachy, he read all the King James Bible, doing well. Damn. I mean, I've read it all, but it's a lot. There's a lot of fluff. So, that was a long time ago in another past life. So, yeah. Glad you're doing well, Rachy. Hopefully you're doing well, Cat Smith for you. We'll wait a few more minutes until before we dive fully in. So in the meantime, I want to showcase something. Hopefully I don't destroy anything. So they had a sale going on for Dead Space stuff. It actually looks pretty good on the camera. So they were selling off because he's not going to save the world. They just, got rid of Isaac, and I got his gun right here, his laser cutter. So yeah, that thing is awesome. Stick it right there. So, Cat Smith for you. I'm currently attempting to do a CPU motherboard upgrade on my desktop computer. Ooh, what you upgrading? CPU and motherboard at the same time. Okay. What are you upgrading, Cat Smith? Let's see. I think this will be fine. Probably should put myself up over here. Loki is not happy. There we go. Maybe I'll do this. There. Okay. So he wants me to throw his ball. This pistol surely costs more than 32-inch 1440 180 curved monitor. No. It was 50. It was like, what was it, like $50, but with shipping it was like 60, 70. It was originally I think like 100, 120, but it was like half off or something along those lines. Because I think they're just clearing out everything they have, and so I got that, and I got to this Dead Space skateboard. Now, if you don't know, I used to skateboard a lot as a kid into my teens, and I still do every once in a while. Like I'll take Loki out skateboarding. He likes to pull me. That's not really doing tricks, but I'll do tricks every once in a while still. Yeah. So, Cat Smith for you, I'm going from an i5 7500 CPU to an i7 1200. So, okay. Or yeah. So yeah, that's the cat will fly with this i7. Yeah, that is a huge upgrade. Why an i7? What are you doing with an i7? Usually gaming's fine with the i5 series. When you start doing like multitasking is when it matters. Okay. Let me know if your guys' chats don't show up. I know you can't see the chats, but I guess we could always see if we can detach this. Oh, it's not going to let me move it over. That's too bad. So let's get into some of the news. You guys can ask me questions along the way. I'll answer them. We'll get into a couple other things. And I am the biggest liar apparently known to man. Because, sorry, I keep dropping. Because I keep promising giveaways, and they're going to come soon, someday soon. I just been so busy trying to get a bunch of things done, and I'm trying to gear up to be a little less busy in the next few, like in the next month or two. And so I'm trying to be very productive to be less productive later on. That's how that works. Rachie, gaming has been crazy those 2 weeks. Game Pass is abusing right now. Oh yeah, what are you playing on Game Pass right now, Rachie? Maybe we can bring that up too in a second. This is actually a big one right here. I just wanted to bring this up. The Steam Deck news and updates going on with the fixed install DLC not being recognized by some games is actually crazy. That it took this long. And I think it's been going on for a while, but I've had DLCs not work properly with games. Not being recognized, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm glad they got that fixed. At least we'll see if it's fixed for everything, but I'm really glad that they got that fixed. Oh my goodness. Fixed startup failure causing Steam to get stuck displaying, installing, verifying screen when runtime files fail to unpack. That's a crazy one. I have run into that one too, and I know they've tackled this multiple times, so hopefully this is the last we see of it, because I don't see it as much nowadays, but hopefully I don't see it ever again. That was really frustrating. Okay, so those are the two prominent things I wanted to mention about the Steam Deck updates, but the updates, but speculation abounds with the Tom's Guide article. Sorry, Loki. If you don't know, who's my dog? He's a corgi. Where's your... He wants me to throw his ball. So, Casper, for you, I have games that require more than 4 CPUs. Like, it needs 5+ CPU cores. Like, it's required, or it just does a lot better. Okay, that's interesting. Rachie, don't worry, James. We are waiting for the day when you will be able to afford an RTX 990 Super Ti for every sub. One day, for every sub? I'd only do it for you guys. So, Steam Deck 2, everything we've heard about Valve's rumored handheld. And this is kind of a nice summarized guide. It might be a long time before we see the rumored Steam Deck 2. And what it sounds like, let's see if we can get to it. So as such, changing the performance level is not something we're taking lightly, and we only want to do so when there is a significant enough increase to be had, said, I can never say his name, but to The Verge, he doesn't believe such a leap to be possible in the next couple of years. Given the statement, we might not see a Steam Deck 2 in 2025 or even 2026. Regardless, we're in for a long wait. So this is a lot of speculation. The biggest reason I'm bringing this up is because it's fun to talk about this stuff when we haven't talked about it in a few weeks to months. But let's see, there's a couple. So I agree, honestly, with what they're saying here. I think we could see an announcement this year, but I don't think we're going to see a Steam Deck 2 until the earliest 2026. Yeah. Let's get an entry-level Steam Deck currently costs, and that's going to cost a lot more with tariffs coming in. The United States' current tariffs on imported might affect the Steam Deck 2's price. However, given how the tariff situation seems to change daily, it's difficult to predict how tariffs will affect the price of electronics released in future. Still, it's something to keep in mind. I doubt it's going to affect it much. Like, this is kind of silly to say that, like, if the Steam Deck, let's say if the Steam Deck 2 is 2 years away, I can guarantee you those tariffs are going to affect it. the collapsed stock market might, but those tariffs, I guess, in an offset way, it will. In a translated message from Chinese forum thread on Chip Hell via Notebook Check, the headline rumor is that Steam Deck 2 will feature a 900p OLED screen with a refresh rate of 90 Hz. While the latter figure is the same as the Steam Deck OLED, the rumored bump up to 1600 by 900 would be a big boost. Both the original Steam Deck and the OLED model sport a 1280 by 800 screen, putting that slightly above a 720 due to the 16:10 aspect ratio of both handheld gaming PCs. Now, this 800p is not like the most standard because it's a 16 by 10 ratio. I'm curious if this is even less supported by some games, this 900, but I would definitely say I will take 900 over 800. It could imply that there's going to be a bigger screen too if they want to up the resolution, but I'd hope that they would up it to more of a little bit higher than 900. This dog. That custom for you, like it requires that. Oh, that's crazy. I think I've been rolling with I haven't had a 4. I don't even know if the ROG Ally. I think the Steam Deck's the only device I have that has a 4-core. I think my iPad even has more cores than that. Raichi, Steam Deck can now stream GeForce Now at 4K 2040 240 FPS. That's pretty good. But it's GeForce Now, and I can't remember if I mentioned that in the past, but GeForce Now is not bad. It's just not really for me. Raichi, 45 frames per second FPS, and you double the frame with IA, and you get a smooth 90 frames per second. Chalice, what's up? Welcome. So, although it's a VR game. Okay, I could understand that a little bit more, but still, that's pretty demanding for a VR game. That's crazy. It's usually more graphically demanding. So this will be interesting. Now, this is all sounding interesting, right? 90, that makes sense. 90's fine. That's perfect. Anything above it, it's not like you're doing competitive gaming on this thing, typically, with a Steam Deck. So that's great and all. But there is more to this whole story. Icarus, welcome. How you doing? I probably should post this in give me 1 second here. Don't mind my private chats. I can't believe I exposed the private chats, but whatever. It is a private chat. We're just going to do this real quick. I don't think everything. That's streaming. We are going to resurrect this Discord again someday. Okay. Jeez. Sorry for that. Raichi, the legend still use Core 2 Quad. Oh my god. The QC. How old is that, Raichi? Isn't that 12 years old? This dog, man. So here's the most interesting, I think, aspect to this whole thing. And this is the one where it's kind of my wish, but it's a big deal if they do this. So at the moment, the leading processor for gaming handhelds is the AMD Ryzen Z2 chipset. In fact, many, myself included, thought we'd see the likes of an AMD Ryzen Z2 in the Steam Deck 2. However, based on our conversations with Graphias, I can never say his name, that's likely not happening. There is no Steam Deck 2 with the Ryzen Z2. They're going to do a custom chipset. It could be like the Z2, but less cores and more in line with what the Steam Deck 1 was, which was a very custom, power efficient chip. And we aren't thinking about new hardware until next year, at least. commented when he was interviewed, we want to see bigger performance and power efficiency improvements within the 8 to 15 watt power envelope. Here's another cool thing that they're not talking about though. Solid state batteries are a big deal too. Like you can get a solid state battery that will like almost double. I mean, this works. ChatGPT, I forgot I assigned it to my search. Oh, here we go. So it's a lot safer. It's going to be really good for EVs, but you can already get solid state chargers that are quite a bit more efficient. Can charge from 15 to over 80 minutes in 18 or 80% in 18 minutes. I think this is going to be more in line with cars. Sells and plans to introduce them into demonstration fleet, but that's once again 2026. This is for cars. Let's see. Let's see if they can answer this. Let's see how smart. This is going to have to be a whole segment of our show now. Does it Steam Deck? Oh my God. It still does these things. Look at that. Dude, if the Steam Deck 2 looked like that, I'd be done. I'm not getting that. I mean, what would you guys get that? The Icarus, so close to being able to purchase an ROG Ally Z1 Extreme. Nice, the Icarus. That's awesome. Rachie, the Q6600 is from the 2008, honey. Yeah, I said 12 years, so. Oh, damn. Oh, that's so long ago. That's 17 years ago. That's 17 years ago. Oh gosh. I don't. Thank you, Rachie, for making me feel so old. Because I remember that CPU. I'm pretty sure I had one. Loam Key, welcome. Solid state battery will find their way on 1 to 2K phone first. Maybe, yeah. I mean, yeah, but we'll see. Why the power button on the bottom? On this? Down here, this is a concept. This is probably AI generated. Like this one right here, AI generated. This is old AI generated. This is pulling from, I think, like probably from the sources. As of now, Valve has not announced plans to incorporate solid-state batteries into the upcoming Steam Deck 2. While the solid-state battery technology offers promising advantages such as higher energy density, improved safety, and faster charging, is still the development stage and not yet widely adopted in consumer electronics. Valve has introduced the Steam Deck. Let's see let's see how good this thing is. Valve won't move away from the touchpad, pretty sure. I don't think they will either. That is not, by the way, if you're joining in and that was just to make fun of, that was AI generated. So energy density comparison. Lithium ion batteries typically have an energy density ranging from 250 to 300 watts kilogram. So solid state batteries can achieve energy densities exceeding 500. Essentially, let's just say doubling, with some prototypes reaching up to 720. Expect it not to be that though, like 720. And because Steam Deck is trying to be less, I guess they could do two different versions. Like here's my personal opinion with the Steam Deck 2. I don't like a whole lot of SKUs, but if they want to do a $399 version Steam Deck 2, don't change the power, like the performance that is, because I don't necessarily like that. But if they do a Steam Deck 2 like that, and then do a Steam Deck to OLED or Pro or something like that, where it has like solid state, where it has to be an extra $200, I'd be down with that. If a future Steam Deck were to incorporate solid state batteries, the device could see a 50 to 100% increase in battery life compared to the current models using lithium ion batteries. This means that a game currently offering 2 hours of gameplay playtime could potentially extend to 3 to 4 hours. Here's the thing: pairing all this up with an Atom processor, which we're going to get into, they could see a huge increase on battery life, like huge. With a couple of other things, we could potentially see like I'd safely say 100, 150. So I doubt that they're going to use a solid state, because I swear I've seen them out on the market, but I'm sure the cost is going to be really high to try to incorporate into a device like this, where you want something a little bit more mainstream, something that's more market ready / mass produced, because you're going to get better you're going to get a better price and availability. Rachie, they should let us use gasoline to power the Steam Deck. Damn. It should allow us to use steam. Lomkey, as long as they give us 18 watts when docked. I agree with that, Lomkey, actually. I actually agree that they should be able to, when docked, have more power. But I actually really want them to create an eGPU system. And I really want to make a video on this one day. But I need to get all the parts to do it. Chalice, is changing the joysticks on the Ally a hard fix? I think I've opened my Ally. I've opened my Ally a few times on the back, and I'm thinking about doing the battery upgrade with this one. The front, though, I would assume it wouldn't be. It will probably be, honestly, easier than the Steam Deck, so definitely doable. Do you need to swap them out? Like, are your Chalice, are your or DJ? I think that's what I usually called you in the past. DJ, is your sticks, do they need to be like swapped out? Like, are they like going bad stick drift, or you just want better ones? Look at that, Cascoder. Welcome, Cascoder, and it looks like you're playing Elder Scrolls Oblivion. How's the remastered? Why don't you tell us, Cascoder? I need to silence things when we're doing this. Okay, while you're answering the Cascoder, jeez. Let's get back into this predictions. There's no Steam Deck 2 with the Ryzen Z2. The current Zen 2 based AMD chip inside the Steam Deck runs with this level of power, and this is something Valve doesn't want to stray from, since it would sacrifice battery life. We don't want to be looking at a 20 to 30% improvement or anything like that, because we don't think that's meaningful enough for developers and for our users. So what can we expect from the Steam Deck 2? He didn't say, but considering the incremental gains from Z1 to Z2 during a span of 18 months, this is another sign that Steam Deck 2 won't be arriving anytime soon. Given, I don't think it's fair. I think the Z2 architecture could bump it up to 50% without much of a, if done properly, I think could, depending on the game, of course. Given how Steam Deck uses an AMD chip, the assumption that was the company would go do so again with the Steam Deck 2. When we asked if Valve would return to a custom AMD processor, he was quick to say, not necessarily AMD. It's an interesting clarification that suggests that if the time comes for the next-gen handheld, Valve may look elsewhere, perhaps to the likes of Intel or Qualcomm. When it launched, the Steam Deck was the only gaming handheld that used SteamOS. This gave it an edge over more powerful competitors using Windows 11, since Valve's operating system was specifically designed to work on handhelds. SteamOS was the Deck's secret weapon, but the OS is no longer exclusive to Valve's hardware. The upcoming Logie. It's gonna be a Qualcomm. Okay. He's getting upset about everything. The upcoming SteamOS version of the Legion Go S will be the first machine that uses Valve's handheld OS, which I know they already mentioned this on the podcast. So if you listen to our Off the Console podcast, I know Gardner and High Tech have the new Lenovo handheld. I am a lazy piece of and did not contact the people to get one. I still might, but I got to be making videos, and I feel very guilty not to get one, and I don't have I don't know. I'll get around to all that. I just want to get over my building of gamesrevealed.com and some other stuff down first. Okay. Besides the point. And I'll get back to chat here in a second. Okay, when asking about whether Valve is in talks with other companies beyond Lenovo, he confirmed that these conversations are happening and that he sees it as a bi-directional relationship where both sides will have to put the work in to make it make sense. That's interesting. So our hardware is in a certain segment, and there's other segments that prioritize other things that we don't. For example, some hardware or handhelds prioritize performance at the sacrifice of battery life, and others favor accessibility. We're happy to slot in alongside them and offer consumers more choice. Valve believes there will be a place for potential Steam Deck 2, especially if it can offer something its competitors don't, such as better battery life or easier portability. Honestly, the only way they're really going to get that is to improve SteamOS to work with Qualcomm or like Atom chips. Given its name recognition, I believe Steam Deck 2 would do well even with SteamOS available on other handhelds, but as Jason speculated, it's also possible that Valve could sit back and let other devices do the heavy lifting. Even without a Steam Deck 2, the company still wins if the user-friendly OS is on numerous handhelds. Yeah, they win no matter what, but it's about, for them, progress. So I think they're going to be making a Steam Deck 2. I think they've been, but Steam Deck 2 or their next Steam Deck system could also just be a Steam machine. It could be the Deckard, aka like the Steam VR headset. It doesn't necessarily have to be a Steam Deck 2. And in fact, it would make sense that the next device be something like the Deckard, where they use, let's say, a Qualcomm processor. And we know that they're working on getting Qualcomm and Atom processors to work in SteamOS better. So, or the Proton DB, or Proton, that is. DJ, yeah, the left stick only moves up and down. Oof, that's rough, man. Yeah, you should be able to fix that. Cascoder never played the original, so it's Skyrim 2. It's not as flushed out as Skyrim. Like, if you're Oblivion is so much less. Like, did you buy the $10 horse armor, Cascoder? Did you buy the $10 horse armor? Reggie, imagine our nowhere Meditech creates a beast of a mobile chip. No, maybe. Cascoder, I got a Switch 2 pre-ordered. Nice. I will not be getting a Switch 2 on launch. It could be a year, but it's not I'm going to get it for my kids more than myself. So I have so much other crap going on that I just didn't get the Switch 2 at this moment. Not meaning that, I mean, I wouldn't mind one, but yeah, I talk about that in lengths in the Off the Console podcast. Okay, DJ, Expedition 33 is so good. Oh, is it? DJ, that is not a bad one, actually. Let's pull that one up, too. Let's see what ChatGPT have to say about it. The Steam Deck is a portable Xbox One, in my opinion. I agree for the most part. True Magic Dude, welcome. I think they could just make a Steam machine at $700. The PS5 Pro is already at a high price. Decent game laptops are around that price. I agree. The Steam machine would, if they made a Steam machine at $700, that could they could probably make that rival the PS5 Pro. And I'd love to see them do that. Lumkey, it'd be a bit we can see. They make Steam Deck in China. Yeah, Lomkey. Well, here's the thing. There is no way tariffs are going to last past 2 months. Just saying it. There's no way, because I don't think people understand. In 2 weeks, you're going to go to the store, and certain aisles that have Chinese and a couple other imports from places that were tariffing really high, they have not been getting stuff from there. Like, we'll have produce, because a lot of our produce does come from America or Mexico, and we're in agreements there. But just plan on stuff not being on shelves eventually, like in the next few weeks. It's not to make you go rush out or anything like that. There's still a lot of stuff we do domestically, but there's a lot of stuff we do trade. Cascoder, no, I did not buy Deluxe. You didn't buy the Deluxe? Damn. DJ, yeah, wait, my backlog will last me a year easy. Yeah. It's kind of the way it is for me. Claire Obscure Expedition 33 is making waves as one of the 2025 standout RPGs developed by the French studio. Oh yeah, it's this one. Sandfall Interactive, composed of former Ubisoft developers. This debut title has garnered critical acclaim, boasting a 92 Metacritic score. Damn! And over 1 million copies sold within first 3 days. Damn. Okay, well, I guess I know what I'm going to be getting soon. I'll probably pick it up next month, though. Yeah, and if you haven't seen the trailer, let's pull up the trailer. Find me the trailer. Let's see if we can do it. There we go. I don't think it will let me play it in line, though, right? What? Oh, it's because YouTube doesn't like that ChatGPT grabbed it. I guarantee that's what it is. It is what it is. Okay. We've already seen, if you've seen some of my past stuff, we've already watched it. Unless this pulls it up. No, maybe. Ugh. Wait, why am I not signed in? Ugh. Oh, it's because I don't have it. I'm not paying for Google anymore. Okay, that's awesome. Expedition 33 and South of Midnight are both on my list. Now, South of Midnight I don't think is doing as well. Reading through some of the stuff on this, but I will have to say, art style wise and a couple of things, like story wise, like this looks like a really fun game. I was a little worried about the gameplay being a little bit too simplistic or not really innovative, but that's fine. Like, a good story is also something I'm really excited for. Obscure Expedition 33 was my most anticipated game of this year, and I'm sure it will be my game of the year. Ragey, really? It looked good. My only hesitation with it is that it looked a little too Final Fantasy. There was a bunch of I'm kind of tired of like RPGs, JRPGs, a bunch of other types of RPGs going a little too much, like especially fantasy wise, looking too much like Final Fantasy, right? Like, I get a little bit too tired of it. And it must be like the lens flares and the characters. I get tired of it, but at the same time, I'm not against playing something that deserves to be played because it's a good game on its own. And this was on my list, and I'm really excited to see where this goes obviously it's doing really well, which makes me excited. I still have a lot of games on my list, but Doom is coming up soon. Doom, guys. Like, Doom. Oh, man. Doom Dark Ages is going to be my game that I'm going to be playing next month. Raichi Game Pass. Wait, Clearance is on Game Pass and it's selling well? Damn. Wait, it's on... Okay. No, that's settled. I'm going to be playing that on Game Pass then. Don't normally do that, but I'm putting all my money into building up products. No, the grifters attacked. No, the grifters attacked to Oblivion. South of Midnight is great. Okay, good to hear. Like it looked good, Raichi. Thanks. Grifters attacked Oblivion. Are you talking about like the like YouTube grifters attacked Oblivion for what? PC Panda, I think that administration generally doesn't care and lives in its own world, insulated from the reality of others. Why do you think they might cave on tariffs? PC Panda also in agreement with Raichi. South of Midnight is worth your time. Damn. Okay, I'm gonna have to get it then. Well, I was planning on getting it anyways. Don't worry about that, guys. The administration's gonna give because the administration, and namely Trump, is at based on some polls in the 30s and 40s. He's delusional that it's not that, but I think that's what he says out loud. But he really does care about that. And on top of it, what he cares about even more is if there is nothing. Let's say 1/3 of stuff we get is imports from China or some other places that we're not going to get as much because companies don't feel confident that they can sell it at that high of a tariffed price. And if the shelves, 1/3 of the shelves are empty, they might pad them out with a bunch of extras. There's a lot of different techniques they might do to hide it. But if they don't, and there's 1/3 of shelves empty, Americans are going to flip their shit. And they're going to, that's why I think they're going to fold. I think those tariffs are going to go in. If they do, okay. I'm even not sure if the tariffs are going to go through because I think he's not going to do it. But even if he does, even if they do go through, I think people are going to hurt enough, complain enough, that they won't last for a few months. Now, that being said, if they last 2 years, the last time tariffs were this bad, and we'll get back into games and everything like this. This is just to give you guys hope, hopefully, because if there's a lot of stuff that's going to be a lot more expensive, guys. If the tariffs continue for 2 years, the Republicans will be done in the House and in the Senate. They're done. They're gonzo. Like, not every single one, obviously, but at bare minimum, a lot of them will be replaced by other Republicans. It's very unpopular. Tariffs are a very unpopular stance. And the last time that we had such big tariffs was like almost around 100 years ago, give or take. And it decimated everyone that supported it in Congress. So that's how history kind of tells that it's not going to go very well. That being said, they don't care, but eventually they will, because in 2 years, if you have a new Congress and a new a big flush of the House, you're going to get an impeachment, and you will get them out with that. Okay, you might even get the current Congress to do something at one point when their constituents are suffering enough. Okay, sorry. Enough of the tariff talk. It's a little depressing. Game Pass, let's see, Raichi. Game Pass as South of Midnight, Oblivion Remastered, Expedition 33, Doom Dark Day. You're right, I'm going to have to get it. Oh, gosh. Yep. The Grifters attacked South of Midnight to Oblivion. Oh, to Oblivion. Oh, what did they not like about it? It's a black chick? They're so racist, man. Can't we just, like, dude, this looks so good. I love the concept of South of Midnight. I really love this concept. It's really fun. I really like the art style and everything. Oh, that looks so good. Yeah, I think I'm going to get it. Cascoder, his base doesn't care. They believe this is going to bring jobs to America overnight. Yet they will care because they're going to not be able to get MAGA hats. Like the MAGA hats that they get, they're not going to be, because they're made in China. There's probably a surplus though, and you got to remember there will be surpluses of certain items, and once those are gone. But yeah, I'm just telling you, these polls, Cascoder, I saw these polls. Only 23% of the people polled were approved of Donald Trump's. Like, outright approved of Donald Trump's tariffs. Everyone else was in a okay to 40, I don't know, it was like 30, 40%. No, I think it was like 40%. So you had 23% that was like, yeah, for sure, let's go with these tariffs. And you had about 38% that were adamantly, completely against tariffs. So I'm just saying, it is eroding even some of the MAGA, because I think some of the MAGA base is higher than 23%. But once again, it's a tariff. It's a poll. Doesn't mean that it's 100% accurate representation. But funny enough, a lot of the people that are in, you can go back 10 years and see what people think of tariffs on both sides. So it'll be, I really do think it's going to not last. PC Panda, thanks for the hope. I just saw the Gamers Nexus piece, so I agree that the effects of tariffs are devastating. Thanks for engaging with the question, though. Oh, yeah, no problem, PC Panda. It's going to affect everyone, and I think we're a little lackadaisical sometimes about this, and I think we're going to have our big eye-opening win in 2 weeks, because that's when the tariffs officially hit. And that being said, remember, not everything is going to be gone right away. But some things will probably like run out really quick. But surplus is a thing. So if, let's say, companies bought enough surplus before the tariffs went in, once the tariffs go into place, once that surplus is gone, then either they don't get any more because they're afraid they won't be able to sell it, or they do. And this is hurting small businesses, and this could even end up hitting. This is hurting the small game hardware businesses too, because they can't afford those prices. People are not going to pay those prices. I think the used market is going to get inflated a lot. Rachie, right now, USA should be working in the culture war. I'm starting to like Chinese games more than American ones. Should be working in the culture war. Does Chinese have culture war games? Culture wars, it's not real in reality. Like the culture war on both sides is just semi-manufactured. It's kind of just annoying stuff. Just give me good things. If it's woke, awesome. That's everything that we like. Media alone's always been woke, pushing the edges and stuff. That's why we're where we're at. I don't know why we're here, but this right here, making sense of the Xbox handheld rumors. When could an Xbox handheld be released? There's no confirmed release date yet, but we're hearing that Microsoft might be collaborating with ASUS to develop a handheld gaming device codenamed Kennan. It could launch later this year and is expected to run on Windows with an Xbox-like interface. Here's why the rumors are growing. It's been years since Microsoft's last major hardware launch, the Xbox Series X and S, released in 2020. A new form factor could be the next big step. Market demand is clear with the success of handheld gaming via the Steam Deck, ROG Ally, and Lenovo Legion Go. And then, Phil Spencer, Microsoft heads of gaming, has said that he's a big fan of the handhelds and thinks Microsoft should have one. Is Microsoft even considering the release of any kind of handheld? Yes, they are. And we already know this. They are considering the release of both ASUS branded, or like an Xbox branded ASUS handheld, which I think is smart if they want to get one off the. They should have done this a year ago, but whatever. Get one out the gate quickly, and then they're going to be working on their own handheld for a couple of years from now. And I really think that's smart. I really think a very strong Xbox handheld would do really well. But then again, there feels like they're moving away from more and more from hardware and mainly sticking to games. If a handheld Xbox does happen, it will likely lean on cloud gaming and Xbox Game Pass. The device might run a custom version of Windows with a stripped down console. It will run Xbox OS, which is just Windows, but modified. Battery life and cooling will probably be a big focus, especially if we're running higher end PC hardware integration with existing Xbox services like cross-save. Remote play, Xbox cloud saving. Here's what to expect based on trends from other devices in Xbox current ecosystem. We don't need to go through all this. We kind of know that it will be what an Xbox is. Wolf, welcome. Sorry, I'm late. I'm at the gym, then had to grab some protein. How you doing, Wolf? You doing good? I feel bad. I need to reach out to everyone in Discord. I've been so focused. It's don't need to get onto all like my focusing habits of being focused and unfocused. Rachie, kind of sad because Hisense is about to release an amazing gaming TVs. Oh, really? Yeah, they do. Oh, we'll see. Well, anyone that's in Canada is also going to get affected partially because their prices could increase, but not that much more because I think they're going to have to go to the different ports. Because I think what they used to do is they go through ports and there'd be a pass-through like allowed to Canada from China. So it'll be interesting to see how that all goes. Wolf, I'm okay. Still going through the motion. I'm sorry, Wolf. We'll have to get together, play some more games on Discord. So I think we're all in agreement that they're going to be working on an Xbox handheld. And I know that some of you want to get an Xbox handheld. I personally would rather have a PlayStation handheld. So let's say in a couple of years when Xbox is planning on releasing its official handheld and there's a PlayStation, because PlayStation sounds like they might be doing an official handheld. If they release at the same time, there's a good chance I will be getting the PlayStation. Because I bet you Xbox Cloud Gaming and some of the other things will probably be working fine on the Steam Deck by then. I'd assume. But who knows? We'll see. BT Maverick, welcome. What's up, everyone? Just got done installing my Astra 5080. Now just optimizing with drivers, updates, and all. Damn. Hope you like that. That sounds awesome. Rachel, yeah, I'm in Canada. Maybe stuff will be cheaper, but our economy will get hard. It will be cheaper than us. Because they're going, like I said, the plan is that they're going to go to ports that are Canadian ports instead of passing through American, which we had agreements and everything. It's a cluster F. BT Maverick handheld with Game Pass is much sweeter. Oh, I agree. Like a handheld, I agree for the most part. But I'd rather have a Steam Deck or Steam Deck 2, Xbox Game Pass, and then a PlayStation Portable because I just really like... I've had I've had the PSP, the PS Vita. I've really liked those devices. And there's just something about like Sony has a lot of games that I love and they haven't released them all for Steam. Now, if they do start doing that, then I just probably stick with Steam Deck, honestly, but we'll see. But isn't PlayStation coming out with the PS6? Yes, they are, but they're also eyeing over a PlayStation handheld. These companies have, or at least Xbox has the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S. The S is less powerful, and I could see the next generation, the Xbox Series S, being kind of like the next one. I'd love it if they did like the Xbox 720 or something. Or like the Xbox, I don't know, something along the lines that it could be pretty funny. Okay, so it will be interesting to see handhelds. Now, let's see here. Here's one thing. Nintendo Switch 2 pre-orders see overwhelming demand, frustrations for hopeful buyers, and they sold out quickly. It is launching June 5th, like this says, and I went to the website on GameStop, and it was crashing like crazy. I think they were getting botted. Now, they were using some tech that helps with that, but even that tech felt like it was getting overwhelmed. And that being said, I don't think they had very good... I don't know if GameStop has proper servers, because usually they'll have like elastic type servers where they can detect a lot of traffic and up them for a little while. And with how long it was like having struggles, they just didn't do that. The Xbox Series D. The Icarus, I don't know if I like that. I don't think I like the Xbox Series D. I just got the Xbox D. I just got the D. Damn, Duke. Okay, I could be down for that. The Duke. Xbox Duke. I love the Duke. The original Xbox controller was awesome. Ugh. So it will be interesting to see like when these come into play and if they're going to be, because I think because of tariffs, it is in high demand, but I'm curious if tariffs will affect it, or if even affect Nintendo saying, hey, we're going to play it a little safe and just make sure there's just barely enough to quench some of the thirst, instead of just trying to do a fire hose of just getting as many Switch 2s out there. But it will be interesting to see how quickly they'll be stock to where you can walk into a store and buy Switch 2 off the shelves. I'm curious when that will happen. I don't know. The Steam Deck is a Duke gamepad. Raichi, maybe that's why I like it so much, is that it just feels so good in my hands. The Duke. Wait. Yeah, and I think this is just another one on the tariffs. Oh, no, this is one on... Wait. I think I missed this one when I was reviewing it all. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, we do know that the Switch 2 will be sell for $350 in the Japanese language only version, which they could be subsidizing, or they could be making sure that Japan's getting a better deal than the United States, and they're just kind of gouging us, which is go for it. Plus, on top of that, they don't have to worry about tariffs and stuff. So that could also be another reason maybe they were anticipating tariffs. I mean, there's a good chance they were just anticipating it. So when they release their price, they're like, yeah, this is within the realms of what we could expect to get over on the tariffs, even though it's not. Like, they're going to be eating a lot on that price. I could really see them upping the price of the Switch 2 after the first week. We'll see, though. They should have released the Switch 2 last year. They should have done it. They chose a really bad time to release it. Okay, gaming handhelds increased $100 in the U.S., and I'm sure it's because of tariffs. The price of the MSI Claw 8, 7, Legion Go S gaming handhelds have gone up, and we're likely to see more tech increases. I mean, this is just... Here's the thing. Those tariffs still go into place until May. The first part of May and the mid part of May are going to be when the tariffs officially go in, especially for most of this electronics, especially from China. And it sounds like China's ready to play ball. Like, China is just like, okay, whatever. We have a ton of people we'll sell it to internally, I guess. So, yeah, there you go. If you're planning on getting, planning on getting a new handheld, I'd probably wait until the tariff war or go with a used one. But even so, with the used ones, people will probably try selling them for more. People are really crazy like that. So, Raichi, did the Switch and Oya had the same chip? No, I don't think they did. Oh, wait, maybe it did, actually. I think they were both NVIDIA, but I don't know if it had the same chipset. You could be right, though, on that. NVIDIA Tegra 3 processor. I don't think... Is that the same one? If you can't tell, I've been having kind of fun with ChatGPT lately. It gives me I know what I can trust and what not trust for the most part from here. And so far, I actually have not had too many issues with information being falsified when using the search capability with this. I've liked it, actually. And like I said, I mean, I pay for ChatGPT, but I get no nonsense from this. Yeah, that's what I thought. So the architectures are a little different. No, James, the NVIDIA Tegra 3 and the Tegra X1 used in the Nintendo Switch are not the same. While both are the part of NVIDIA's Tegra lineup, they differ significantly in architecture performance. I believe the Tegra 3 is not as performant. Let's see here. So the ARM Cortex A9 CPU with additional low power comfort. Yeah. So the Tegra 3 equipped with 12-core ULP GeForce GPU. And then the Tegra X1 features a 256-core Maxwell-based GPU. Yeah. Yeah, even the architecture is quite a bit different. So, yeah, those release years are also quite a bit different, but they're still the Tegra line, which is interesting. BT Maverick, Xbox Copilot AI handheld. I'm good. Honestly, like you're making, I don't mind Copilot too much, but I honestly, I don't use Copilot with coding and all that. So you're turning me off on this Xbox handheld. I've already turned to, I'm done with Windows right now. I'm on Mac right now. I'm on the new Mac Studio that I got. Guys, it's freaking amazing. I can run LLMs, like I can run AI and stuff off this for fun. I can do all sorts of fun stuff on this, like encoding and everything's just, mwah. I have multiple projects open. I'm doing all this while streaming and having zero issues. I love it so much. I'm such a freaking fanboy now. I hate it. BT Maverick. I would have bought a 5.0. Oh, a 5090 if they were under 3K. BT Maverick. But I feel like anything, especially with the 5080, I feel like anything past the 5080 is just overkill. I am playing a different plan. Well, partially because this room overheats too much and I'm too freaking annoyed to get an AC unit for this room alone because it would just be noisy while I'm trying to stream or do whatever else. But yeah. Cascoder Mac, but I want to play video games on my computer. Here's the fun thing. So Cascoder, I do have a KVM, so I can get into my Windows one, but I'm tired of it. What I'm going to be working on, and I really wished that this had proper USB 4 support so that I could, there's a mod chip that I might get to make it work with a eGPU, but I'm content with it if I can get an eGPU or something similar to this with an eGPU playing games based off of this performance. This year is my mini-me kind of hardware experience, and all I really want is mid-range game experience right now, and I want to be able to game here and on my TV out there. Now I have a 3090, which is plenty of performance for me for right now. In a year or two, I'm sure I'll be changing my ways and probably getting a bigger one, but I'm just a bit like a better GPU, but I'm kind of pissed off with NVIDIA right now. I thought they were going to, yeah, don't need to get into that. I used to be more lackadaisical on this stuff, but I just don't want to deal with it. I could also set up a streaming through Ethernet, or I could see how much optical is, but that's what Finest apparently does, is optical. But I could probably even do okay with 10 gig Ethernet, go to my TV and be able to have my either it right here or somewhere else in the house where I can cool it down. I'll put the computer in the kids' room and they can overheat. Toasty oven in there, and I then will play off my computer or anywhere I want. I could play off of my anywhere that has an Ethernet. It will be the best, but yeah. Oh, honestly, I could probably get ChatGPT to write me a soft Apple TV program to stream my. That's another thing I've been playing around with. I've been coding so much, and I've been using AI. Well, okay, to be fair, I am a developer. I've been using it to do some of the more tedious work that I've done a lot of, but it's fun. So I could always write some software. In fact, I'm gonna have some good stuff coming for gamesrevealed.com and also Deck Revealed. So soon. The Icarus, I'm putting Bazite on the Ally. Hey, I just. Actually, I can't remember if I swapped it out. I swapped out Bazite, or I might have replaced it. I can't remember, but no, I replaced it because I wanted to have this have Windows so I can play everything off this, and then I'm going to have SteamOS be on my Steam Deck. Because I'm slowly trying to go to, like I said, a handheld with an eGPU, which eventually, once I get into a better place, of all my other projects I'm working on, try to get them down, I'm going to try to get some review units to build up my handheld gaming stuff. So, okay. BT Maverick, I can't remember where we see each other. Broomstick, we Dave. We Web Dave, boom. I feel like I see you most over there. I love fun and speculation. Damn, you guys are buds over there. Nice. Okay, so what should we talk about? Anything else? Oh, this has got to be like. Is this the GPD Win Max 2? It's so interesting that. I mean, it's still a decent. I'm surprised that they're reviewing it though. Did they update the? It is the more updated version of it. Interesting. I don't know why I brought this up, but okay. So, best gaming handhelds for 2025, Steam Deck. Damn. Best gaming handheld devices for the best gaming handheld for most, Steam Deck makes sense. I'm gonna like bulking out the most powerful hardware. It doesn't officially support every Steam game or games from the other clients, but it's just so good. The best Windows handheld gaming handheld is the ASUS ROG Ally X, which, to be fair, I really kind of wish I would have waited and got the ROG Ally X instead of the one I have, just because the specs in it are about what I want. I just wish that screen was a little bigger. But to be fair, the Lenovo Legion Go 2 might be my device because it sounds like they're fixing every problem that they had. Best mobile handheld gaming, Iron Odin 2, which the Odin was really good. Like, yeah. There's a lot of good handhelds and that have come out. The honorable mention Playdate, that's so funny. Cascoders is Steam Deck OLED, Steam Deck OLED White, Steam Deck LCD. Nice. Cascoder. BT Maverick, yes. Yeah, there's a cool gaming community with these podcasts, and we run into each other often in the chat. Nice. That's awesome, guys. Yeah, I see you guys sometimes in other chats too when I watch stuff. Excuse me. But yeah. As far as I'm pretty much done for today. This is all I got prepared. I do have I do promise you guys I promise you guys like a sneak peek on what I've been working on. I'm still working on that. I've done so many researches for videos that I haven't produced. I just need to do it. I need to get out of my block again. So here's kind of like the update that's going on. Gamesrevealed.com is coming along really well. I'm kind of pairing the UI a little bit with the deck revealed refresh. These are going to be fun projects. They're going to be showcased on my new website. And yeah, I kind of go back and forth on projects. That's why it's taken so long. So I'm also very focused on it. And so I keep forgetting to make videos, but once it's released, I'll do incremental updates for these websites and all that, but I want to make sure they're in a good place before I release it. Usually I wouldn't do it this way, but it's just in the past experiences, it just hasn't done as well. I haven't done as well because then I swap out tech, and I've been sticking with a more similar tech stack. Don't need to get into all this. But when we do the official launch, which that's why I haven't really announced anything officially, I've only mentioned it in these videos. When we do the official one, there'll be giveaways. We'll have a huge launch party, a bunch of fun stuff. I'll have a bunch of things. I'll let you guys have a sneak peek, especially everyone that's here. Keep an eye out because I will have, like, let's say a pregame party or something like that in Discord or something along the lines where we can chat or go over stuff before anyone else can see it. Like, I'll let you guys have early access to. So maybe we'll do like a pregame like a week or two before launch. I'll give you guys early access. So keep an eye out on Discord and on, I guess, this channel. As far as Rachie, I found games revealed because I was searching for deck accessories and you were streaming. Yeah. Rachie, I think a lot of people have kind of found that, and I have not done deck. Here's my problem with Steam Deck accessories, and this is why I got to really like figure out what content I want to make, and I just haven't been happy with all the content I've made on Steam. Like, I love doing Steam Deck content, but like accessories wise, I don't think there's very good amount of accessories that are worth mentioning these days. There's just a lot of stuff that's just not really worth it, in my opinion, for me to be interested in. That being said, Steam Deck is still my favorite device, but some of the other ones are still great. So once I get out of the funk and I feel like I feel confident to start contacting these companies and getting devices to do reviews and stuff, then you'll start seeing more of that type of content, which I'll get there. But I want partially because I'm a developer, but also because I want more control over some of my content. I want to get this Games Revealed website up. And before it was a blog, but I want it to be more useful for everyone. So I'm putting in stuff that's much more useful. BT Maverick, I finished The Last of Us Part 2 a couple weeks ago. James, do you think Ellie should have gone through with it, or were you happy with the ending? I think they're both. I was not happy with the ending because where I thought and I'm not going to mess with any of the stuff, BT Maverick, but where the ending was and where I thought it should have been, which would have been much sooner. There's a whole revenge arc that happens that I absolutely hate, but I understand, but I hate it. I would have been totally fine if they would have stopped the game where you feel like they kind of could have, and then made a third game picking up from there and doing it like that. I would have been even better with that, but it just felt so, in some ways, anticlimactic, in my opinion. Like, you get this like huge, done kind of almost thing, and then you go out and it ends, and I'm not overly happy. I am like, they're, in my opinion, in this post-apocalyptic world, I wouldn't say either of them are like the best persons. They're both been slighted, let's say, but it's a good story. And I actually don't like flashbacks too much, but I love the flashbacks in that game. But I love the environments. In fact, I want to go back and play The Last of Us Part 2 because of that. Wolf, people are mad about the show. Of course they're going to be mad about the show. I haven't watched it yet, but I've been kind of waiting. I really don't want to watch the show again. I know how the game goes, so I can play the game again. I know what kind of is going to happen eventually, or at one point in season 2, but like, yeah, season 2, episode 2, yeah, I'm going to be, Wolf, it'll be interesting. Are you liking it, Wolf? Rachie, then I sub in your next stream was about skinwalkers. Wait, hold up, Rachie. That was my The Brink channel, though. I don't think I did anything deck accessories wise on The Brink channel. But that is hilarious. I don't think I did any skinwalker stuff on this channel. You like it a lot, Wolf? Good. I love the first season. The second season, I know how it goes. I know I like the game. I'm going to like the game more than I'm going to like the series. Cast Coder season 2 of The Last of Us is changing a lot. I could totally see that. They'd have to start earlier, or they'd have to change a lot of stuff, or else Pascal's not going to be in there long. BT Maverick, Law, witches love Ellie Rambo crawling through the grass, murdering everyone. But at that point, what's one more body in the wake of bodies that I left behind me? I agree, but the whole point is that they're both badass female protagonists because you play as both of them, BT Mavericks. So the point is that they're both badass. So having them like be very equal in almost killing each other and stuff like that is very makes sense in my opinion. And the whole point is it's kind of a Moby Dick story in a lot of ways, which is interesting. It's very much interesting. Like The Last of Us Part 2 is Moby Dick. You guys could tell me if I'm wrong about that, but that's the premise. You're going to probably like the game more. Wolf, you're probably I think Susanna will really like the series. I think she's watched me play the game, but I think she'll like the series. I think she wants us to, but we're in the middle of watching what's the Apple one? Oh damn. There's an Apple series that has the dude from Parks and Rec. Yeah, we're watching that. It's really good. Very slow, but very good. Has like Lumen in it. But yeah, BT Maverick, yeah. Exactly. So please keep an eye out, guys. Thank you for sticking with me through this whole thing. I know that I have been just so laxed on content for the past year. But just between health stuff, everything else, just between a lot of things, my health stuff's not fully like resolved, but it's getting better, I feel like. So between all that stuff, like I'm getting there. We're going to get back into doing more videos, whether it's on this channel or another channel. I'm going to figure it all out. I do like doing this, but I would much prefer being the sporadic self I am, which I don't change. I just have a lot of interests. And so it's really hard for me to go through and just cover Steam Deck 100% of the times. Even though I love the Steam Deck, it's really hard for me to, let's say, go a whole year just covering it. It is almost like torture at times because I have a lot of interests. I have things I like to dive into that are other things, even in the gaming world. And so I want to figure that all out. Oh yeah, Wolf. Well, that's the thing. Even if I wanted to, like, I was not going to be a very interesting person with those. Chad, Cat, and baby, welcome. Sorry you're late. I'm sorry too because I'm about to wrap it up. But Wolf, I'll get you even more. I'll get you sooner into the system too on this. Oh yeah, let me showcase this before I leave. This is what I got. This is why I didn't stream for a couple of weeks because I was too busy just staring at this thing. Dead Space. They have a sale going on in their store, and they have a bunch of stuff there. And I got a skateboard in this. I love it. I'm so excited. It's like it's just great. I love it. Oh no, you're good, Chad. As far as so we'll get into things more. I'll be having probably a very experimental phase of the channel again, which is fun, whatever. And start doing more of just what I kind of want to do, and but still try to things that are interesting for you guys. So yeah, we'll do some more fun. We'll do some highlights. Maybe I'll switch over to a show for a lot of things, and then we'll do some like deep dives into reviews and stuff like that, and not shows. Okay, guys. I swear there was one more thing to mention. I don't know. If you're new to here, make sure to like, subscribe, bash that bell with your crowbar if you have not done so, and please like the episode. It helps promote it. We will be doing more hopefully in Discord very soon. So keep an eye on there. The reason I don't go in there and start chatting with people as much as I really want to is because it distracts me really bad. That's not your guys' fault. That's my fault. And I get distracted very easily right now. Kind of. Like I have a lot of, well, the thing is, I have a lot of things I want to be doing and I'm doing it. But if I get stuck onto something else, that will be my hyper focus for a while. So we'll get there. Ooh, In and Out is good. Go get that, Wolf. Rachie, member for 15 months. I know, you're so awesome, Rachie. You're MVP, man. Good night, people. And we kind of want repo. Oh, yeah. We'll have to play repo.